Right. So today we want to look at some situations where, sometimes you you want to purchase a property and you're so excited about it, but there's perhaps some things that you overlook because the person who's selling to you deliberately chose not to tell you. Can we look at that for a little bit today?
Yeah,
Yeah, so let's look at that. Where do we
yes.
start?
And I come across a lot of things as an agent, and because of it, I know the types of questions to ask, but sometimes information is still withheld, and I could only work with what I'm given.
Mm-hmm.
But ever so often, owners who want to sell a property kind of keep out the fact that, there's also another person who is on that deed with me, and they don't necessarily want to sell it. So every time I connect with an owner, I always ask to see proof of ownership. The deeds would clearly state on that first page that it's owned by John Brown and Sally Suit. So John Brown can't get away with selling it with only his signature on my listing agreement. I have to have both signatures. So vendors, be honest and let me know always when there's someone else involved with you in the ownership of the property. That's number one.
Yeah, it saves the hassle in the long run anyhow, because you will be found out. The property is not going to transfer without first due diligence. So let's be honest up front. So step number one is to ensure that whosever names are on that deed, that both of you agree to its sale.
Yes, and I have seen issues such as I had a sale once, all excited about it, and then all of a sudden I heard, oh, my partner, like he an agreement partner. You never told me about partner. 5 months of praying and fasting, Pearson, for this sale to go through and this man to arise and determine that he was on board.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so.
Yeah. Sorry, that's not good at all. Go ahead.
No. Number two, let me know too if the property isn't yours outright. So it might now have to go through probate. The process where, it's determined whether the will that was written is accurate or not. That could take a long time.
Yes.
So imagine now with, all the delays thanks to COVID, shortness of staff, etc. You don't know when that's going to end. If I put a property on the market and someone wants to buy it now and you casually tell me, oh, it's going through probate. Excuse me, how long might that take? Yes. And then also going back to with things like inheritances and so forth, deed of gift, etc. Sometimes you might need letters of administration, which give you the permission to sell. So you want to talk to your attorney before you put property on the market if your name isn't clearly on the deeds to ensure whether or not something else has to be done.
You're quite right. Now, also coming with the property are things like taxes. And you don't... See, she got it again. And you don't know that until you're about to head to the door, and then wax. For the sale to be concluded, there are some other costs that could impact on the value of the property. So let's talk about that, because sometimes you didn't even tell me that there were some taxes that were to be paid on that property.
Yes, that is a big one, because at the end of a sale, an attorney wants to make sure before they turn anything over to the buyer that all liens are sorted out, meaning, that there's no excessive water bill hanging around. There's no excessive land tax bill. Someone forgot to tell me once about a $90,000 land tax bill. Arrears. Like, this is kind of urgent. How are we going to pay this down before the closing of the sale?
Yes.
So you need to put those things in place too if you're selling either a payment plan or discuss it with your attorney. They may be able to sort something out. I don't know, so that some of the monies incoming might go to pay off land taxes. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but those types of things need to be discussed up front so we have a proper game plan.
Should I tell the potential purchaser about a death in the house? Those kinds of morbid stories that they don't want to necessarily hear about. I don't want to tell them, so should I?
Listen, I'm the honest realtor, so I prefer to know things up front. It also even impacts things like showings. I remember going to a property multiple times and it just wasn't feeling right. Every time I opened a door or
Mm-hmm.
window, the different bedrooms, etc., I came back outside because I said, this houses have energy, believe it or not. And I kept on
Wow.
saying, this doesn't feel right. Lo and behold, and then of course when I'm showing it, I couldn't show it with gusto because I'm peeping around. Lo and
Mm-hmm.
behold, someone then asked me, someone from the neighborhood then asked, "Oh, you ain't get a house where the man commits suicide in the basement cell yet?"
Wow. What a story.
At least tell me these things. Because
Yes.
even in selling, I like to be honest. I don't want to put somebody in a house and withhold that from them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
prefer to tell them, someone died here in shaky circumstances, but that was a while ago. But at
Yes.
least allow me the opportunity to share that
Yes.
and, and,
Yes.
and know what I'm confronting to when I go to that house on a regular basis to show it.
That's great advice indeed. And then, we tend to want to, and we talked about this some time ago, making sure the property is ready for sale, for market, that kind of thing. We fix up this and we fix up that. And we plaster the crack, thinking they can't see it now. They can't see it now. When they buy, that's their problem. But the crack is there. So there's things that are structurally wrong with the property. And should I be honest enough and open enough to say, listen, there's a crack in the roof that tends to appear at a particular time of year, and so on and so forth?
Oh my gosh. When I go to properties, my eyes are looking through like a hawk. Okay. So when I see certain things, I'm not a contractor, I'm not a builder, but I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you, look, make that disappear. But when I say that, I mean repair it, not
Yes.
hide it
Yes,
with
yes.
some troll plastic. Repair it. So there's certain things that I like to ask owners to actually spend their money on. So anything that looks like it was a pest or termite infestation, anything that was water damage or leaks, and anything that is structural, like a crack or whatever, fix it before we even go to market. Because as soon as people come into the house, where are their eyes going to go?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to distract from, embracing the property itself. So
Yeah.
yes, you have to be upfront with those things because come on now, you want to sleep at night. I want to sleep at night. And I believe in being ethical and upright. It will come back
Yes.
and bite you if you don't.
You're quite right. Girl, there are things that I tell you, folks, you hear it for yourself. The horrors in the life of a real estate agent, Agent Sharita.